When will you leave this house, Amy? It's embarrassing to have a freeloading bum living with us. You're moving out, right?
I'm leaving today, Mary. I don't want to see your face anymore either. It was obvious to anyone that my sister-in-law, Mary, who sneered and mocked me, was trying so hard to kick me out and take over our house. But there is a reason why I decided to move out and give up the house. Surely, it was because I'm confident that Mary wouldn't be able to live in this house for long. My name is Amy. I live with my father, my mother, and my brother's wife, Mary, at my parents' house. My brother was assigned overseas right after he got married, and Mary straight up refused to live abroad. Mary, who ended up living separately from my brother during their newlywed phase, shamelessly decided to live in our house. I remember well the first day Mary moved into our house. She came with a lot of luggage, saying, "Since John has gone overseas, his room is vacant, right? I've decided to use his room and live here without consulting any of us." My parents and I were perplexed by her sudden arrival at our house without asking permission. When we called my brother for an explanation, he has no idea and was also surprised by his wife's actions. My brother, who had just been assigned overseas, couldn't do anything, so it was up to my parents and me to deal with Mary and talk to her. After they got married, Mary should be moving into my brother's place. Despite that, when asked why she suddenly came to our house, she said it was because my brother's place was too small. I had been to my brother's place before. It's not that small if you ask me. However, Mary had already terminated the lease on my brother's place, and since her family's home was far away, she insisted on living with us because it was conveniently close to her job. Honestly, my parents weren't happy at Mary's actions, but she left them with no choice.
Since John has gone overseas, I'm lonely too. Of course, as long as I live here, I intend to contribute financially. I'll also do my best with the household chores, so please let me stay.
When Mary explained this, my parents couldn't do anything. My parents couldn't refuse Mary, partly to save my brother's face. It seemed my parents had no complaints about living together with Mary, but they weren't very happy about her showing up without any notice. On the other hand, Mary was doing the household chores as she said she would, goes to work, and pays her share financially for the house. Yet, I was frustrated. Because for some reason that I didn't know, Mary shows clearly that she hates me.
Oh, Amy. You're looking ugly today as well.
I was truly shocked when that was the first thing she said to me as I came out of my room in the morning. I don't think my face is well proportioned at all, but it was surprising to be told something like that out of the blue.
Amy, aren't you embarrassed to be shut in at home all the time? John is doing well enough to be assigned overseas, and your parents earn enough to live in such a big house, yet you're living a boring life just staying at home. I'd be too embarrassed to have a lifestyle like that if I were you.
Today, my parents were at work, and it seemed like Mary had the day off. Does she think saying such awful things, "I won't tell my parents"? Thinking she's kinda stupid, I responded, "I'm not embarrassed. I'm not a bum. It's true, because of the nature of my job, I spend a lot of time at home. I'm definitely not a bum." Despite me just telling the truth, Mary bursts out laughing.
You don't need to put on a brave face, Amy. Your brother is doing well, and I work at a major company. Your parents work at respectable companies, too. I understand you feel inferior, but you don't need to lie about it.
It's not a lie. I'm an influencer.
Influencer? Haha. Stop making me laugh. Someone as ugly as you could never become an influencer. Influencers are supposed to be beautiful, like models.
Ignoring what I was saying, but it's true. Mary brushed her beautifully curled long hair aside and pushed past me. As she passed by, a strong scent of perfume came from Mary.
I can't deal with your lies. Unlike you, who's a bum, I'm very busy. So, take care of the housework, okay?
Mary, who was passing by, stopped and said, "Oh." Wondering what it was now, Mary turned around with a very mean look on her face.
How about I give you some pocket money, Amy? You must be struggling, after all. I suppose I should give you something for doing the chores.
Mary chuckled and said that as she pulled out a few $10 bills from her wallet. She tossed them onto the floor and said, "Well then," before leaving the house. I was insulted by her attitude. Clearly, she's mocking me. I was mad at Mary and also disappointed in my brother's lack of better judgment in women. Did she really think I would just stay silent after being treated like that? Mary might have seen me as a timid sister-in-law, but I'm not the type who just takes things and not do something about it. I picked up the scattered few tens of dollars, opened Mary's room door without permission, and threw them in. It's surprising how she could act so high and mighty over just a few $10 bills. Unfortunately, I'm not in need of money. I had planned to take it easy today, but suddenly I got busy. After doing the chores and finishing today's work, I packed my things. I had already developed a disgust for being under the same roof as her. I'm gonna stay at my boyfriend's place. Raiwa, my boyfriend, whom I've considered marrying, said it was okay for me to come over as soon as I explained the situation. I spent the rest of the morning contacting a certain place. Since the time I met her when she got married to my brother, Mary has been looking down on me. She must be the type of person who can't live without being dominant over someone. By the time I had finished all my errands, my parents had returned home. Without mentioning Mary, I prepared dinner and ate with my parents. Mary said she will go out with friends and hadn't returned yet. I think she doesn't need dinner. She probably plans to return late at night. I didn't say anything to my parents about Mary because it wasn't the right time yet. I intend to expose her at a time that would be most troublesome for her. I'm going to move in at Ryu's place starting today. I'll be leaving tonight.
That's quite sudden. Is Raiwa okay with it?
Yeah, Raiwa said it was fine, and we were planning to get married soon anyways.
Well, if that's the case, give my regards to Raiwa.
After telling my worried parents that I was leaving and finished the dishes with my mother, who was feeling sad, I left the house with my luggage. Just then, Mary arrived. Mary, with heavy makeup on, grinned at me as if she had found her prey when she saw me.
When will you leave this house, Amy? It's embarrassing to have a freeloading bum living with us. You're moving out, right?
I'm leaving today, Mary. I don't want to see your face anymore either. Mary's expression changed when I answered directly. Mary gave an ugly glare at me. I feel bad for my brother, but I don't need a sister-in-law like her. The next time we meet, I'll have my revenge. Then, if you'll excuse me, after saying goodbye to Mary, I greeted my parents who were watching TV on the first floor and then left the house. Raiwa, who was worried about me, said, "You probably don't need to see that sister-in-law anymore, but I care about my brother. My kind-hearted brother is being manipulated by Mary." Knowing that, I just couldn't stand by silently. Thank you for worrying about me, but Mary needs to be completely removed from our house. A few days after I left the house, I received a call from my mother.
Why would you send something like that? Come to the house as soon as you can and explain what this is all about. I've contacted your brother too, but he can't come home immediately, so we'll connect via video call. I've asked Mary take the day off from work, so come home quickly.
After receiving a call from my mother in the evening, I texted Rywood to say I was going to my parents' house and then left. As soon as I stepped into my parents' house, which I hadn't visited for a few days, I could feel a gloomy atmosphere. As I approached the living room, Mary's cry grew louder. When I opened the door, Mary, who was sitting in front of my parents on the couch, gave me a death stare.
Amy, that's terrible. Why would you send such photos?
Mary pointed to the photos spread out on the coffee table in front of the couch. The photos showed Mary going to various places with various men. The photos show Mary being intimate with other men. She accused me of sending her the photos. I think private investigators are quite handy. The morning I left my parents' house, I contacted a private investigator to look into my sister-in-law who might be cheating on my brother and transferred the money. Just like that, so much evidence emerged.
You're the one who's terrible, going on a cheating spree just because I'm not there.
The one who shouted was my brother, connected via video call. My brother on the screen was red-faced and furious. Mary cried out to my brother, because I was lonely. Even though we were newlyweds, you went abroad. It's your fault for leaving me behind. I felt like veins were popping out on my parents' faces, but I said, yes, it's John's fault. Mary looked at me with a shocking expression. She thought I was going to defend her, but I cleared everything by coldly saying, the biggest problem is my brother's lack of judgment in choosing such a woman. Hearing my words, Mary seemed infuriated and leaned towards me.
What the heck? A freeloading bum like you has no right to say that to me. After all, this situation is all your fault.
Despite being in front of our parents and brother, Mary, who had just revealed her true nature, covered her mouth in shock after shouting. But it was already too late. My parents and brother were shocked, but I simply stated, Mary is always like this. Mary thinks of me as an ugly, freeloading bum. She may act innocent in front of everyone, but she cheats and spews insults at those she considers beneath her, showing her terrible character. My brother is also at fault for marrying such a person.
I only spoke the truth. After all, Amy is a freeloading bum. Being an influencer, that's a lie too, right?
It was my mother who sighed at Mary's defiant attitude.
I never thought Mary would be such a person. It's true that Amy spends a lot of time at home, but she's not a bum. She really is an influencer.
To Mary, who voiced her surprise with a what? I revealed my screen name as an influencer. When I told her to search for that name, Mary took out her smartphone and started searching. Once the search results came up, Mary, looking flustered, alternated her gaze between me and her smartphone. Then her jaw dropped. She pointed at me.
Really? Amy becomes this person?
Yes, makeup is like magic, isn't it? I'm a beauty influencer. I post many videos on the net transforming into a completely different person by enhancing my naturally light-featured face with makeup. Sometimes, cosmetic companies ask me to advertise their products, and I post videos using their makeup. Thankfully, I have many fans, and my name always comes up when talking about beauty influencers.
This house was built with the money Amy earned.
Such a big house.
Mary voiced her astonishment at my father's statement. She probably never imagined that a young woman like me could afford to build a house in a prime location. As Mary was frozen in surprise, the intercom rang. Wondering who it could be at this hour, I, the only one standing, answered the intercom to hear a familiar voice. "May I come in?" he asked, so I replied, "Yes, please come in." And after the response, the person came in. Seeing Raiwo enter the living room, Mary was in shock.
What? Why is Ryu here?
So you're the infamous sister-in-law I've heard about. I'm glad you know me. Thank you.
Raiwo, who responded with a refreshing smile, is an actor who has been in the entertainment industry since he was a child. Raiwo and I, who hit it off after meeting at a gathering for video posters, have been secretly dating for several years now. With Ryu's appearance, Mary must have truly believed that I am an influencer. When Mary realized it, she said, "This can't be real." My brother said from the screen, "This isn't the time for you to be feeling down." From there, things progressed smoothly. My brother said he would demand alimony from Mary and decided they will divorce. He said he would take a break to come back home, so Mary should wait until then. Since Mary's parents' home is far away, she must live in this house until my brother returns. My parents looked at Mary as if she was garbage, and for Mary, the days until my brother returns were certainly going to be like sitting on pins and needles. After ensuring my brother had escaped from a woman like Mary, Raiwo and I decided to leave. While Raiwo was driving, I asked him, "Why did you come?" And he replied, "I don't want you to be mistreated again by your sister-in-law." His kind response made me smile. My brother came back home 2 weeks later. It seems Mary had taken time off and holed up in her room the entire time. While filing the divorce papers with my brother, Mary was crying. Despite Mary's tears and saying she loved John the most, my brother did not give in at all. After the divorce was finalized, Mary moved out of our house and started living alone. But the men who had entertained her until then stopped seeing her after she changed physically due to the stress from the divorce. Mary, unable to receive help from anyone, seems to have called my brother numerous times, but he already blocked her number. After John went back abroad, Mary, having no one to rely on, quit her job and moved back to her parents' home. Mary ended up becoming a freeloading bum herself, which she mocked and made fun of so much. My brother became more cautious in his relationships with women, but eventually met a wonderful woman abroad and married her. My new sister-in-law, with beautiful blonde hair, is diligently learning Japanese to communicate with me and my parents. Raiwo and I also got married when our perfect time came. Our marriage even made the news. Ryu's marriage was blessed by the public. Our marriage was celebrated because he is loved since his childhood acting days, and I was accepted by the public as Ryu's wife. Now that everything has settled, my family and I are all living happily.